Hey friends, so I want to update you on something I posted this morning about how Apple's done this deal with Starlink, and there have been some interesting changes since I posted this morning. So I was getting a lot of comments where people were saying it's only T-Mobile, that's the only carrier, and that's not what it said. When I read the article last night, that was not specifically said. They have changed the article today, which I will show you, to reflect that. Even though they're saying it's just T-Mobile, I'm not a T-Mobile user. I have a different service, and in my iOS updates, I'm going to show you right now, it lists this being part of the update, me being able to connect to a satellite, which we know what that is. They're not specifically saying Starlink in the update, but we know what that is code for. We know what it means. So I'm going to show you that right now because that's why I've been commenting to people in my last video that I don't think it's just T-Mobile because that's not my carrier. So let me show you that really quick. So do you see where it says messages above my head and that you can connect via satellite? Like you message your friends and family when you're out of the cellular or Wi-Fi connection. That's what that update is referring to. So I feel like something wonky is happening right now. I don't use T-Mobile. I use something else. And yet it is listed as one of the things that is updating in the new iOS 18.3. So riddle me this. Why all of a sudden are we now getting this new information that it's only T-Mobile if I have this above my head? Just putting it out there. So this is from the article that I posted in my last video. You can see the dates. Original date is January 29th. It was updated January 31st. Okay, so those are the two dates. Now, if you go to this exact article, this is what it says. It now doesn't even have those previous dates. It just has February 1st, and it says updated February 1st with more details of the new service, how it will work, and where it will lead. And it was posted at 1:46 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I find it interesting that now this has been totally updated with all this new information. It happened today, and the former dates aren't even listed on this anymore. So I want to be very clear. The beginning of this article says, Apple has just released iOS 18.3, its latest iPhone update, and the software contained a surprise extra. Now, that software went to every iPhone user, not just T-Mobile users, every user, which is why I'm getting it and I'm not on T-Mobile. It does not say here that it's only going to T-Mobile users, okay? The first time we even hear about T-Mobile is in this paragraph, where it says, while T-Mobile already had a Starlink satellite option for users to send emergency messages when outside cellular range, it was for Samsung phones only. Okay, now I understand. Now it's moved to iPhones, right? And Apple's emergency SOS via satellite service used the rival Global Star network. So they had a rival company that they were using. And now all of a sudden, they switched to Starlink. But this still isn't saying that it's only going to T-Mobile users. It's just expressing the fact that up until this point, T-Mobile was already using Starlink, but now it has expanded, okay? And again, if all Apple devices already had the Global Star service, already had this emergency satellite connectivity, why does it need Starlink? And the key difference is no more pointing your phone at the sky. Starlink works right from your pocket. So it has access all the time. This is basically saying you don't have to go outside. It always has access to you, right? Isn't that what they're trying to say? No, this is a hypothesis based upon what I'm reading. Just critical thinking, okay? The race for space-based cellular just got interesting. That was not in there before. T-Mobile said that the test will start with select optimized smartphones, but that the full launch will support the vast majority of modern smartphones. So not just iPhones, guys. And that it has opened the beta to some Android phone users running the latest software. Android 15. So pay attention, Android users. You've now entered the chat. The move from Apple to supporting other satellite networks beyond Globalstar has often been suggested, with Muskrat saying that he'd had conversations with Apple about Starlink involvement back in 2022. Now, listen, this article has two sort of separate things going, okay? So T-Mobile had already made a deal with Starlink. They're talking about that in the article. But this article is about Apple and how they've now gone from Globalstar to Starlink. And that, I'm sorry, the person who wrote this, it's very confusing. You are combining two separate subjects, and that's why people are confused. Yes, T-Mobile already had this thing. Apple is an entirely different company with an entirely different deal now. This does say that users in the program have a new toggle switch in their iPhone cellular data settings to manage the satellite feature. So you can turn it on and off. So this paragraph is new at the bottom. It says, this is the last paragraph in the article. For now, you need to be in the US to be able to have this connectivity, and it will apply to handsets from the iPhone 14 onwards. And of course, it's limited to a beta program at the moment. You guys, this doesn't make any sense. It might be limited to beta for T-Mobile, but it's not for the iOS 18.3. That goes to everybody who updates the software. I know I'm talking fast. I know I'm rambling. Something about this article does not sit well with me. Something is wrong here. Look, I'm an English major. I analyze text for a living. If someone can come in here and explain this to me, but something feels off, okay? I am sending you love. I'm sending you solidarity. Until the next one.